And we have one item. Nobody signed up for a public hearing, so we'll move on from that. And item 1, BL 2025-689, ordinance approving the memorandum of understanding between Metro Beer Permit, Metropolitan Government Codes, Administration Facility Cooperation of the Enforcement of Title VII and Chapter 9.20 of Metropolitan Code of Laws.
Second.
Third.
Fifth. Okay, in discussion?
Can I speak on?
You may very well speak. Ms. Stiles?
I would like to speak on the substitute, the difference between what we had before us 2 weeks ago. We have added Title 16, Chapter 24 to the MOU. And so in this legislation now, noise ordinance would be covered, but also anything that falls under property standards. So these two compliance inspectors would be trained by property standards. They would live in nightlife. They would handle property standard violations that take place overnight with that office. And so this enables that to take place.
Okay. Any other discussion?
Are you going to move the substitute?
Yeah, I would like to move the substitute. I mean, I just figured I'd just wait.
Second.
Pregnant pause.
Properly moved and seconded. All those in favor
I'd like to speak on.
the substitute?
Yes.
Absolutely.
So last time we heard this come up, Bill Herbert told us they weren't comfortable having inspectors go out at night. So they weren't going to be able to go out without a police officer. How has that been addressed to be able to be outside? Because now, from what I understand, these two are going to live downtown, and if we want to go forward with this, basically we're going to have to buy our own staff to do the full city. So if we can't get where we're safe or feel good about a codes inspector going out at night to do codes inspections, then why are we moving this forward and looking to put people in a position that they won't be able to do the job that it asked for?
Councilman Stiles, you want to address the question?
Thank you very much. So I think the biggest differentiation that we need to understand is that codes handles the violations that take place during the day, from 8 a.m. to 4:30. The Office of Nightlife, it's in the title of the office. They take anything that's happening in the evenings. This allows for the compliance inspectors, so these are not property standard positions, they would be called compliance inspectors. They would be addressing property standards that take place at night. While the money is coming from codes, they are under the purview of Director McDonough. So they will handle the same activities. That is why codes is not a part of this part of the conversation, because it's not a daytime situation, it's at night, and that is Director McDonough's purview.
And my question was direct that at an expert who might be able to enlighten us as to how that would be executed, piggybacking on Mr. Eastlick's question.
No,
Would you like to?
Beth McDonough, the Office of Nightlife and Metro Beer Board. And I'm glad you brought that up because we have a close relationship with MNPD and actually just met with them last week. I meet with the precinct commanders on a regular basis. And they're all excited about the fact that we have a team that will be able to work with all the precincts and address any of the needs that come up on a nightly basis. And so, this is a pilot project, but the expectation is that we will quickly expand it to areas outside of downtown. And the commanders have given me their word that they will work with us on this and provide us with the safety and security that are necessary that codes felt was missing at the time. So.
Did that answer your question, sir?
It doesn't push my support to this because I don't see how, I don't understand why we're starting this downtown. The beer board already handles noise, the police already handles noise, so downtown is covered. So why don't we start in Old Hickory? I volunteer to have my area be the first place. And if the reason that we're housing it in the nightlife is because it is open at night, and does that make it safer? I mean, is that where they're going to go? Or why isn't codes the actual housing of this, since it is a codes-based thing, couldn't they just have the police work with them?
And I spoke with Director Herbert today regarding this issue, and he pointed out the fact that we have that close relationship in our day-to-day activity with MNPD, and just that close relationship with them, and the fact that we met with them last week. And you'll recall that I came out and met with you in your district when you had an issue with one of the bars out in your district, and we were there because we had that relationship with MNPD, and they were able to go out there with us. And so I think that
Well, we
relationship.
also coordinated that about 48 hours in advance.
We
So,
did, which-
just as a regular night with a call from somebody, I'm not sure, based on my information coming from the Hermitage Precinct as well as others, they usually have a full queue of requests in their pipeline at night.
Right.
So unless you're able to pull one from downtown and take it to the precinct that would apply there, it's probably not going to be as easy just to free up a patrol officer from whichever precinct and have you meet them there that spontaneously. So I still think there are a lot of questions about this, and putting it downtown only puts more of the same, because your office can do noise. You do a lot of the things on Broadway already. So having it from downtown in the beginning doesn't do anything better or any different than we've got already. It would be great to have the other precincts actually have that type of service. But again, can't have that. It's got to be downtown.
No,
If I understand this right, if you'll allow me to ask a question, if I understand this is just a pilot program.
Yes.
Right.
And then they're taking this and putting this under you, who's been doing this a while, so that we can ensure that those people are trained. And then once we've gone through a couple of months process and they are trained, then they will be able to go to other parts of the county. And when they do so, if I understand this right, they'll just contact the police precinct in the area that they need to go to make sure that they have an officer with them, so that they're not going somewhere alone, and they won't take someone from downtown with them. They'll just go to the area, a police officer from the area will meet them, and they will cover the whole county. Is that correct, or am I?
That's correct.
Okay. Ms. Stiles?
I was just going to say, what we've discussed is the hub having its own nighttime violation tab. So people will be able to call in, click on nighttime violation, put it in so they'll know exactly where it is, and they will make the determination who goes and
Yeah,
when
I think
from
the
there.
only reason this is even starting out in your area is just because you're already trained to do this. And then once we get the people trained up, they will cover the whole county, if I understand this correctly.
And I believe it was in the letter that I provided to the council regarding the relationship that we have with HUD.
That's correct. I just kind of want to reiterate it out loud, make sure the public also.
So maybe the substitute, would it be where the ones that we're putting on the table now go to downtown, and then we're trying to get a budget together to get some for the rest of the county? So
Based on
the
the
ones
pilot.
downtown aren't going anywhere but downtown?
No, they're going to be downtown so that we can get the data so that we can.
See, that was different than
those
what we
out.
heard last time, because last time they were going to get trained up downtown, then they were going to go out to the other counties. Now we're going to have to buy our own in the other parts of the city. So
I would disagree about
I don't-
buying our own if the goal is to have staff that can go to multiple parts of the city. 2 people is not adequate. But I'm going to defer my time because Councilmember Nash has had his hand up.
Well, I think the other piece of this is codes currently does not have any supervision on night. Correct. And you don't want a couple of inspectors out without some sort of, I want you to call your boss here, and they've got the boss to do it. And again, I spoke about this last week. If we've got a nighttime thing, they may not be able to get to me, that club tonight, but they'll get it on the list and they'll get to it. I've had it work for me.
you can already do that.
Yeah,
We've worked together on that already.
Well, there you go. Problem solved. But you got somebody out.
Mr. Cooper,
Thank you for recognizing
you
me.
introduce yourself.
Oh, yes, I can. I'm Jacob Coopin, councilperson for downtown and the surrounding areas, and appreciate all the conversation. Appreciate Councilmember Eastlick elevating the concerns of Broadway. I think they have more than enough enforcement every day and night. And so my hope and encouragement would be not to have it stay downtown for, as a focus on downtown, not to be focused on downtown bars. I think there are issues I could speak to with food trucks down there on private property causing issues that when I talked to Mr. Dodd over here, he says he's trying to find people that can go out at night and cite these folks, but they're gone during the day and problems at night. So there's plenty of issues outside, even if we didn't touch the bars, that I think are going to be really important. And perhaps Director McDonough is also open to maybe more clearly defining this is what we're looking at downtown, or this is the time with which we're going to, go out to the surrounding neighborhoods. I'm with you. I'm like, I've got a long list of places that I'd love these folks to go and enforce. I think that's important. I think to clarify, and correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is that this is a reallocation of dollars. So it's not that these two codes people are bound by downtown and they can't leave. It's that they are it's dollars with which Director McDonough can go hire people, train them, and then have them have codes enforcement in Old Hickory, or wherever he sends them. So that's my understanding there. And then to the safety concern, I had that same concern. I talked to Director Herbert at length, and he explained to me that what he was saying is that he doesn't feel like he's got the management set up to send people out at night in these situations. Not that anybody in that situation would be unsafe. It was more so that Director McDonough has that purview to kind of make sure that was happening in a safe manner. So, again, I'm supportive of this initiative. I think there's a lot of things at night that I want to get taken care of, that I'm very excited to get taken care of. But again, wanted to echo my support that this should not be used to go find another way to go give a ticket to someone whose music is too loud. That's not the goal. It's to handle the other issues.
One quick question. So I just want to make sure that we're understanding this. So let's say I've got a nightlife problem in my area and I put it in Hub. One or two of these two people will eventually be able to go address that for me under your supervision.
Correct.
That's all I
And
need to know.
that's why we did the amendment as well, so that we could address
One
this.
last question, we need to kind of wrap this
Is
up.
there any plan to increase the number of these inspectors?
I think that's the expectation.
Yeah.
That's the
Because
plan.
I know there's a big need across the entire city.
All right.
Are we gonna?
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Anyone not voting?
All right.
This meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was that.
Y'all get some makeup
that
over
was
here
it.
now.
Yeah, no,
This ain't fun.
I can't have my besties in this. Y'all be putting me in the middle. Y'all be putting me in the middle. You know?
It's under the beer
I
board.
don't know when it went out, but it went out.
Okay, but it's called the.
I told Jeff earlier that
Right now, but eventually.
Thanks for asking.
No,
they're not, though. They were saying
We
two
are.
different things.
No, we're gonna put something in Hub. We're gonna let you test it, and then when they can't address it using one of those two, we're gonna go back to this tape. That's why I specifically asked that question.
Well, and I told Jeff that you and I will go out with the inspectors.
I know that's what she wants, but these two people, this answer, two ain't enough, but still.
You have stages of
If he puts something in Hub,
none of what she likes.
he's gonna be able to go address it.
Specific about
I was
saying
very
they are